In the realm of darkness and deceit, there lurked a malevolent figure known as Palpatine, a name that sent shivers down the spines of even the bravest souls. Under the ominous mantle of Darth Sidious, he orchestrated a grand tapestry of chaos and despair, aptly named the Clone Wars, to hasten the inevitable downfall of the once great Republic. With every calculated move, he wove a web of manipulation, ensnaring both friend and foe alike, cementing his position as one of the most formidable villains in the annals of time. But imagine, if you will, a tantalizing divergence from this twisted reality, where an alternate branch of the timeline comes to life. In this realm, untouched by the malevolence of the Chancellor-turned-Emperor, the course of history takes a dramatically different turn. It is a journey into the realm of endless possibilities, where the very fabric of existence dances to the tune of unexplored destinies. What if Palpatine did not exist? In the vast expanse of the galaxy, a beacon of democracy, known as the Republic, had stood as a bastion of stability for an astounding span of 25,000 years. Yet behind the facade of harmonious governance, a labyrinthine maze of bureaucracy had entangled the once idealistic institution. Under the leadership of Chancellor Valorum, the Republic had strayed far from its noble origins, tainted by the insidious grip of self-serving senators whose hearts had grown cold and indifferent to the plight of the galaxy's denizens. Once, the Republic had espoused the sacred duty of safeguarding the well-being of its citizens, their best interests forever at the forefront of its collective conscience. Alas, the passage of time had eroded those virtuous intentions, replaced by avarice and the relentless pursuit of personal gain. Senators, their souls entangled in the web of opulence, feasted upon the spoils of corruption, their decadent indulgences sapping the lifeblood from the heart of the Republic. As the Republic's attention became fixated on the privileged core worlds, the distant outer rim of the galaxy festered in a breeding ground of lawlessness and villainy. The plight of the outer rim denizens, overshadowed by the opulent core, reached a crescendo of suffering. Their desperate gazes turned to their elected representatives, clutching at fading hopes for salvation, only to find their pleas falling upon deaf ears. The rot had seeped too deep, leaving the galaxies marginalized to wither in the grip of despair. Amidst this tumultuous backdrop, a cunning and opportunistic faction emerged from the shadows, the Trade Federation. Sensing the vulnerability of the Republic, they exploited the disillusionment of the citizens, manipulating their discontent to serve their own sinister agenda. With honeyed words and false promises, the Trade Federation sought to garner the support of the oppressed, igniting a spark of rebellion within their hearts. This was a calculated gambit, a high-stakes game of power and profit where the Federation stood to gain immensely. For the Trade Federation, victory lay not merely in seceding from the weakened Republic, but in the intricate dance of political manipulation. If the Republic chose the path of inaction, fearful of confrontation, the Trade Federation would flourish, nurtured by the absence of opposition. Their influence would spread like wildfire, igniting a dominion that would ultimately pose a formidable challenge to the very existence of the Republic. However, in the event that the Republic dared to challenge the Trade Federation's audacious bid for independence, a scenario as grim as it was lucrative would unfold. War, the ultimate harbinger of chaos, would unleash its destructive forces, plunging the galaxy into the depths of turmoil. And amidst the chaos, the pockets of the Trade Federation would only grow deeper, their coffers swelling with every ounce of suffering endured. The tragedy of conflict would become the fertile soil in which their insidious ambitions took root, sprouting forth a harvest of unimaginable wealth. So it is within this delicate balance of power, this intricate tapestry of greed and ambition, that the fate of the Republic hangs in the balance. Will it succumb to the clutches of corruption and the allure of self-interest, or will it rise from the ashes, casting aside its tarnished visage to embrace the virtues upon which it was founded? The galaxy holds its breath, awaiting the revelation of a destiny yet unwritten, where the course of history teeters on the precipice of uncertainty. As the Trade Federation's audacious bid for secession unfolded, the Republic found itself thrust into a tempestuous whirlpool of heated debate. Within the hallowed halls of power, voices rose and clashed, each bearing a unique perspective on the fate of the galaxy. Like a storm gathering momentum, the deliberations echoed with fervor, exposing the raw underbelly of ambition and avarice that lay concealed beneath the veneer of diplomacy.
I say we crush those corporate thugs and bring them back into the fold,
bellowed Senator Vandis.
Think of the spoils of war, the riches that await us. The Trade Federation's wealth will be ours for the taking!
His words hung heavy in the air, a tantalizing proposition for those senators whose loyalty had long been swayed by the allure of personal gain. Eyes sparkled with avaricious desire as they imagined the coffers of the Republic overflowing with the treasures of vanquished foes. They cared little for the well-being of the Republic itself, their hearts enslaved by a single-minded pursuit of wealth and power. Yet, amidst the chorus of opportunists, another faction emerged, offering a contrasting perspective. Senator Lysara, her voice tinged with wisdom and empathy, spoke with measured conviction.
Let us not be hasty in our judgment. The Trade Federation, for all its faults, has not displayed overt aggression. In fact, there are whispers of them bringing a semblance of peace to the Outer Rim, where we have struggled to maintain order. Should we not consider the potential benefits of their existence in that volatile region?
Her words resonated with those who still clung to the ideals upon which the Republic was built. The weary souls who yearned for a galaxy united in harmony, where peace could flourish even in the darkest corners, found solace in Lysara's wisdom. They recognized the flaws within their own ranks, the dearth of resources, and the glaring absence of a formidable army capable of waging war. Theirs was a pragmatic perspective rooted in the realization that crumbling from within would only pave the way for further factions to succeed and join the Trade Federation's secession. The chambers crackled with tension as the proponents of these disparate viewpoints engaged in impassioned discourse, their voices vying for dominance, their words etching deeper fissures in the already divided Republic. The delicate fabric of unity threatened to unravel, and the consequences loomed large over the future of the galaxy. And so, the Republic teetered on the precipice of self-destruction, torn asunder by the relentless currents of ambition and political maneuvering. It was a pivotal moment, where decisions carried the weight of 1,000 destinies, and the fate of an entire civilization hung in the balance. Would the Republic, fractured and wounded, find the strength to mend its fissures and rise above the chaos? Or would it succumb to the relentless march of darkness, consumed by its own internal strife? The answer lay shrouded in the midst of uncertainty, waiting for the voices of reason to resound amidst the cacophony of selfish agendas. In the shadowed recesses of the galaxy's darkest corners, an alliance emerged, casting its ominous shadow upon the fate of the Republic. The Trade Federation, a sprawling conglomerate fueled by ambition, found an unexpected ally in the form of the Sith, a malevolent force that had slumbered in the depths of obscurity for 1,000 years. With the sinister rule of two guiding their every move, the Sith's ascent into power loomed ominously near. Darth Plagueis, the enigmatic orchestrator of esoteric arts, and his apprentice, the fallen Jedi Count Dooku, joined forces, intertwining their dark desires and twisted ambitions. Their shared goal, the resurrection and restoration of the Sith Empire. Like masterful puppeteers, they would wield the Trade Federation as a tool, a means to an end, in their grand design for galactic domination. Dooku, a maestro of manipulation, possessed a political stature and wealth that would serve as the foundation upon which he built his grand illusions. His honeyed words dripped with calculated persuasion as he seduced the Trade Federation with visions of a prosperous and lucrative future under their guidance. Behind closed doors, he would converse with his master, relaying their plans and strategies.
Master Plagueis,
Dooku's voice resonated with a blend of reverence and anticipation.
Our time and efforts dedicated to the pursuit of immortality are on the brink of fruition. We stand on the precipice of greatness.
Plagueis, a being steeped in the darkness of the Force, exuded an aura of twisted wisdom as he contemplated their macabre endeavors. Though he held reservations about the concept of transferring one's essence into a clone as a true form of immortality, he recognized the value of the research that the cloning process could yield.
My apprentice.
Plagueis' voice hissed with a hint of skepticism.
I remain unconvinced of the efficacy of this path towards immortality, but I acknowledge the utility that the research on cloning can provide for our purposes.
And so, the seed of their insidious plan took root within the depths of Dooku's mind. With the Republic on the precipice of war, he proposed a daring scheme, a masquerade as a Jedi, wherein he would sow the seeds of a clone army upon the watery world of Kamino. The knowledge and discoveries they would glean from this enigmatic process held the promise of usefulness in their dark crusade. As Plagueis in his twisted wisdom granted his approval, the first domino in the grand symphony of the Republic's demise fell. In this unholy alliance, the stage was set for the machinations of darkness to weave their intricate dance, paving the way for the ultimate downfall of the once mighty Republic. Whispered secrets and hidden agendas intertwined with the march of armies, darkness embracing darkness in a symphony of malevolence. And amidst the swirling currents of deceit and treachery, the galaxy remained unaware of the cataclysmic events set to unfold. The Republic, fragile and unsuspecting, stood upon the precipice of an abyss, its destiny precariously balanced, waiting for the machinations of the Sith to unfurl with merciless precision. A decade had come and gone, leaving its mark upon the galaxy, yet the wheels of progress turned ever so slowly within the heart of the Republic. Caught in the grip of indecision and uncertainty, the once mighty institution found itself paralyzed by the enigmatic threat posed by the Trade Federation. Like a venomous serpent, the Federation had slithered unnoticed into positions of power, steadily growing in strength and becoming an ever-looming specter that cast a shadow of dread upon the galaxy's future. In the hallowed chambers of the Senate, frustrations had reached a boiling point. Chancellor Valorum, weak and easily swayed by the winds of fear, had proven incapable of quelling the rising tide of discontent. The time had come for change, for the Senate to seize the reins of power and usher in a new era of resolute leadership. And so, with a collective voice of defiance, they set in motion a plan to dethrone Valorum and unveil a new chancellor, one who possessed the strength and determination to appease both sides of the contentious debate. Enter Bail Organa, a figure who exuded an aura of unwavering resolve and integrity. The Senate turned to him, recognizing the need for a leader who could chart a middle path amidst the chaos. A path that would satisfy the insatiable hunger for wealth harbored by the warmongering senators, while also appeasing those who yearned for lasting peace throughout the galaxy. Organa held a firm belief that the Trade Federation should be forced to abide by the Republic's laws, their power contained within the boundaries of unity. This proposition struck a chord with the Warhawk senators, their hearts lusting for the spoils that conflict would bestow upon them. Greed danced in their eyes as they imagined the riches and influence that war would bring, their ambitions intertwining with the dark underbelly of political machinations. Yet Organa's stance also resonated with those senators who sought an end to the turmoil, who understood that a galaxy cloaked in peace was an essential prerequisite for progress and prosperity. It was in this charged atmosphere that Bail Organa presented his solution, a glimmer of hope in an increasingly dire situation. He proposed that, before resorting to the destructive path of war, diplomatic channels should be explored, the possibility of a peaceful resolution pursued. His words struck a chord of reason within the halls of power, a beacon of pragmatic idealism in a sea of uncertainty. Yet the ever-present threat of the Trade Federation loomed larger with each passing day, their operations growing more audacious and perilous. The fragile equilibrium of the galaxy trembled under their influence, the delicate balance teetering on the edge of oblivion. And as the Republic stood at the precipice of a critical juncture, the words and actions of Bail Organa would serve as the catalyst for the next chapter in their tumultuous journey. With resolve etched upon his face, Organa stepped forward, his voice resonating with conviction.
Let us seek a diplomatic path, my fellow senators. Let us strive for peace, for a resolution that unites rather than divides. For in this unity lies our strength and our salvation.
The air hung heavy with anticipation, the fate of the galaxy suspended in a delicate balance. The echoes of Bail Organa's words reverberated through the Senate chambers, intertwining with the hopes and fears of all those present. The path forward remained shrouded in uncertainty, awaiting the moment when the fate of the Republic would be sealed, and the galaxy forever altered. The currents of the Force shifted dramatically as destiny took an unexpected turn. The Jedi Order, blinded by their own limitations, failed to discover the Chosen One. Unbeknownst to them, it was the Sith who had set their sights on the boy, sensing his immense potential. Darth Plagueis, an enigmatic figure who had long studied the boy's presence in the Force, finally saw an opportune moment to draw him into their dark fold. The time had come for the Sith Empire to emerge from the shadows. Anakin Skywalker, still trapped in the shackles of slavery on Tatooine, lived a wretched existence. Burdened with resentment and seething with hatred, he found solace only in his love for his mother. Little did he know, Count Dooku, the fallen Jedi turned Sith apprentice, had orchestrated a cunning plan to liberate him from the chains that bound him. An attack had been staged, a macabre performance that would culminate in the tragic demise of Anakin's beloved mother. Dooku, playing the part of a savior, would come to his rescue, slaying the assailants with swift and calculated strokes of his lightsaber. Overwhelmed by grief, Anakin knelt on the ground, cradling his lifeless mother in his arms. A torrent of emotions surged within him, dark and potent. Dooku, a keen observer, reveled in the hatred and anger radiating from the shattered boy. Rising from the shadows, he approached Anakin, deactivating his lightsaber and attaching it to his belt. Anakin, tears streaming down his face, looked up at Dooku and mustered the strength to speak.
"Who are you?"
I am but a traveler who heard your cries for help.
He replied. Anakin, his gaze fixated on the lightsaber hilt, whispered,
"You're no ordinary traveler. You wield the weapon of a Jedi."
Dooku's mind raced as he contemplated the significance of that word, Jedi. Visions of his past training, his time as a Jedi, flashed before his eyes. What would Qui-Gon think of him now? But there was no turning back. He had cast aside the chains that held him captive, preventing him from protecting those he cherished. With a gentle touch on Anakin's shoulder, he offered solace.
I was once a Jedi, but I freed myself from the constraints that hindered me from safeguarding those I held dear.
Anakin's tear-stained face turned towards his mother's lifeless form, his voice trembling.
"I should have been able to stop them."
You possess great strength in the Force, my friend. Can you not feel it?
Anakin, unable to articulate his pain, silently acknowledged the profound truth of his connection to the Force. Seizing this moment of vulnerability, Dooku extended a guiding hand to the desolate Anakin.
Let me help you comprehend its depths. With my guidance, you will forever possess the strength to protect those you care about.
Anakin, bereft of purpose, and with nothing left to lose, looked up at Dooku and uttered a resolute plea.
"Show me how."
A smile tugged at the corners of Dooku's lips as he recognized the flicker of darkness in Anakin's eyes. Rising to his feet,
The pain you feel, channel it.
Dooku stood tall, his gaze meeting Anakin's newfound intensity. He could sense the potential for power within the young boy, a raw energy waiting to be unleashed.
Let it become your focus and your strength.
Dooku instructed calmly, his voice laced with a blend of encouragement and subtle manipulation. Anakin, still grappling with the overwhelming emotions coursing through him, hesitated for a moment. He closed his eyes, allowing the seething anger and sorrow to intertwine within him. Slowly, he began to tap into the depths of his pain, drawing upon it as a wellspring of dark energy. His trembling hands clenched into fists as he whispered through gritted teeth.
"I feel cold, so cold."
Dooku's gaze remained fixed on Anakin, unwavering in its intensity.
This is only the beginning.
He responded, his voice carrying an air of conviction.
Do not shy away from it. Embrace the darkness within you, for it is a wellspring of power.
Anakin's eyes, once filled with innocence, now glimmered with a malevolent hue. The yellow glow of the Sith tainted his gaze, a visual testament to the depths of his growing darkness. Rising to his feet, he stared at Dooku, his voice laced with determination.
"What would you have me do?"
Dooku's lips curled into a sly smile, a reflection of the malicious delight that danced within his own heart.
We shall seek retribution for the pain inflicted upon you.
He declared, his voice dripping with a sense of twisted justice.
Together, we will hunt down those responsible for your suffering.
Anakin nodded, a newfound resolve coursing through his veins. He was no longer the innocent slave trapped on Tatooine, but a vessel of vengeance, shaped by the intricate hands of fate and the manipulations of the Sith. The boy who had once dreamed of freedom now yearned for power and control. As they embarked on their shared path of darkness, Dooku led Anakin toward a destination known only to him.
Come, young one.
He beckoned, his voice echoing with a mix of authority and allure.
I know of a place where our enemies may be hiding. Let us pay them a visit, and may the Force guide our path.
Anakin followed, his steps filled with purpose and an insatiable hunger for justice. The seeds of his transformation had been sown, and the galaxy would soon tremble under the weight of his wrath. The fates of countless lives now hung in the balance, their destinies intertwined with the rise of a new Sith Lord. As the two figures disappeared into the shadows, a sinister chapter of the galaxy's history began to unfold, one where the Chosen One would walk a path far different from the one prophesied. The balance of power teetered, and the future of the Republic hung precariously in the hands of those who embraced the darkness of the Force.